This story takes place in an academy. There, IAN PERCUS is a regular student, enrolled in the Department of Swordsmanship. Third year, meanwhile, his friend Celine Haster is enrolled in the Department of Knights. Second year, then there's the third guy, Leto Einstern, who is also in the Department of Swordsmanship third year. Being average academy students, the biggest worrying for them is the usual stuff, like low grades, exams, and all that student stress, to forget about all of it. IAN and his male friend rely on a little bit of booze. After having a good time with his friends, IAN heads back and falls asleep. As his slumber deepens, his mind drifts into the realm of dreams. There he sees a battlefield littered with enemy corpses, and in the midst of it all stands a mysterious figure who oddly resembles IAN. The figure claims that Delphorum is coming, and they must stop him. IAN finally wakes up when morning strikes. The name Delphorum lingers in his mind. He's heard this name in legends before. He decides not to think too much about it and dismisses it as just a weird dream because he drank too much the night before. That's when he suddenly notices a letter on his table that definitely wasn't there before. Another strange thing he notices is that the date on his calendar has changed. It's now 7 days ahead. He picks up the letter and starts reading it from the handwriting. He can tell it's definitely written by a woman. Without even finishing the letter, IAN starts to imagine it's from some girl who has a crush on him. He might be late for class, but he's sure reading this letter will be worth it. However, after reading it, he realizes the only beautiful thing about it is the handwriting. While the sender did claim to be his fiancée, the contents of the letter are seemingly unusual. Everything written seems abstract. In the last page, he learns that the letter is from someone named Sophia from the year 570, one of the imperial calendar, on the 15th day of the month of the bow. The funny thing is that the dates on the letter don't match with the calendar. And another striking detail is the highlighted message at the end of the letter, which goes like, "If we don't protect the future, the world will perish." Annoyed, IAN crumbles the letter and tosses it into the trash, thinking it just a prank. As he walks through the crowd of students, he notices everyone is trying to avoid him, as if he's caught some contagious disease that only he can spread. They're murmuring under their breath and constantly giving him weird stares while keeping their distance. He also notices that for some mysterious reason, he's now carrying an axe. Then he spots his friends Leto and Celine, but even they quickly turn on their heels and start ignoring him. They act like they don't know him. IAN calls out to them, wondering if they can't see him or if they're just trying to ignore him. Leto suddenly begins to examine IAN closely. As far as Leto remembers, something about IAN was different just yesterday. Meanwhile, IAN has no idea why everyone is treating him so weirdly, and he wants answers after a thorough examination. Leto wells up with tears of happiness and tries to hug IAN. IAN is even more lost now and demands clarification. That's when Celine reveals that IAN had been possessed by something strange. The entire past week, this comes as a huge shock to IAN, because as far as he remembers, the last thing he did was say goodbye to both of them the previous night. So how in the world did an entire week